It's game day, the guys are coming over, so on today's video, I'm making some brisket sliders. You don't want to miss this. All right, so let's get started on these sliders. So I've got some leftover brisket that I smoked yesterday. You guys know how it is. You smoke a brisket, you got a lot of leftovers. This is perfect for these brisket sliders. Now I've got this little container here, just a plastic container. And I found that the best way to reheat brisket is in the microwave, but you don't wanna put it at the highest level, okay? So knock the temperature down to probably level number 2, maybe level number 3, and bring the temperature up slowly. Now brisket, as you guys know, when you slice it, it tends to dry out pretty quick. So I do have some of the au jus left over from that yesterday's cook in his pan here. So I'm just gonna, actually I'm gonna go ahead and cut the brisket first. So I'm gonna cut it into the sizes that I want. That way I'm not having to cut it when this brisket is hot, or warmed up, I should say. So just about probably 2-3 inches. And this is a big slices here, so I'm just going to cut these into thirds, just like that. I'm going to put the brisket inside of this plastic container and lay it out just like that. Go ahead and layer it if you want to. Spread it out evenly. So we got LSU playing Clemson tonight. So that's going to be a really good game. So that's what I'm going to use these sliders for. So I've got some of the leftover au jus. Okay. Don't throw this away. This is liquid gold. I promise you that. So I'm just going to pour this on top of the brisket. This is where a lot of the flavor is, okay? Just like that. So that's what we have right there, the brisket and the au jus. I'm gonna cover it, put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, again at a lower power, probably power level number 2 is what I'm gonna go with, for a couple of minutes. Come back and check the temperature. Again, we're not trying to cook this, we're just trying to bring the temperature up, so stay tuned. All right, so while my brisket is warming up, I'm gonna make 4 different types of sliders, okay? One with sauteed onions and mayonnaise. In fact, I'm using this Duke's mayo. Guys, if you've never tried this Duke's mayonnaise, trust me, you will never go back to whatever you're using. This is some really, really good stuff. I'm gonna make one with sauteed onions, one with cheddar cheese, one with pickles, and one plain slider with, and I mean plain with just nothing but brisket, okay? So I'm just gonna slice this onion. This is a pretty large onion. Cut the end off. And I'm gonna slice it into fairly thin slices. Then I'm gonna separate these rings, or these slices, and saute them. And I'll show you what I wanna do to prepare those here in a minute. Okay, just like that. All right. So what you want to do to these onions is separate them into rings. You guys know what you're doing there, okay? Just separate them into rings. I'm going to go and separate these, and I'll show you how I'm going to prepare these in the oven. Stay tuned. All right, so I've got a small saucepan on the stove. I'm sorry, I said oven earlier, but I meant the stove, okay? So we're just going to melt this butter down. I've got it on medium heat. Just melt it down. Just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my onions in there. Just like that. And I'm also gonna add some of this beef rub and seasoning to the onions from Victory Lane Barbecue. There you go. Just sprinkle some of that rub on there. Give it another layer of flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna let these caramelize a little bit, and I'll bring you guys back because that's not the last ingredient on my sauteed onions. Stay tuned. All right, so my onions are translucent, as you can see here. So one more ingredient on these onions, some Worcestershire sauce, okay? Just add some of that on there. That's gonna help caramelize the onions a little bit more and also give the onions a nice color. So just a couple more minutes and we'll start to assemble these sliders. Stay tuned. All right, so I'm just slicing up the last of these King's Hawaiian rolls. Now these are not the sweet, these are the butter rolls. The sweet, I think it's too sweet for the brisket. So slice them in half. And I've got my toaster oven tray here, and I'm just gonna put the bottoms on these trays. Just 3 of them. These are the ones with cheese, okay? So I've got my brisket that is warmed up in the au jus. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful brisket, okay? So just put some good amount of brisket on there. Oh man, these are gonna be so good, guys. Look at that. Big old slice. Here's our third one. That's a thin slice. Let me give this one another slice here. In fact, I'm gonna give, actually that one's good, it's a big slice. Okay, so these are the ones with the cheddar cheese. Now I'm not gonna be stingy with my cheese. I'm gonna add a whole slice of this cheddar cheese right over the top of this slider. Just like that. Okay, I'm gonna put these in my toaster oven for probably 1 minute just to get this cheese to melt. Stay tuned. All right, so while the cheese melts on the other sliders, I'm gonna go ahead and assemble these other 9 sliders. Again, put a good amount of brisket on each slider. I did apply a little bit of the Duke's mayo on the bottom side of these sliders. Just like that. Man, this brisket smells really good. And I gotta tell you that au jus is really gonna keep that brisket nice and moist for you. It's a big old slice. Just like that. 1 more slice, actually 2 more slices. There's 1. And I'm gonna give this one a couple of slices. All right, so 3 of these again, just brisket and pickles. Now I slice these pickles myself. I like to buy them whole and then slice them yourself. That way if you want to eat a whole pickle, you still have those. You don't have to get the sliced ones, okay? So 3 of these are gonna have some of the caramelized onions. Look at that, okay? So just put some onions on top of these sliders here on 3 of these. Just like that. My mouth is watering. I don't know about yours. Look at that. Okay. And again, these 3 are just going to have mayo. Nothing but the mayo and the brisket. Okay. I'm going to pull these sliders out of the toaster oven and I'll bring you guys back. Stay tuned. All right, so I just pulled the sliders out of my toaster oven. And look at this. I don't know about you guys, but I think I know which ones are going to be my favorite. It's going to be a tie, I think. Okay. Now on these, with the cheese, I didn't put any mayo on the bottom before I put it on the toaster oven. These are going to get the mayo on the top. And if you want to put mayo on the top and the bottom, that's up to you. But I'm going to put the mayo on the top, just like that. All right, I'm going to plate these up and I'll bring you guys back. Stay tuned. All right, so let's give these Gameday brisket sliders a shot. Now, I'm not going to taste all of them, but I'm probably going to taste 2. Which one do you guys want me to taste? The onion? I think my 2 favorite are going to be between the cheddar cheese and the sauteed onion. So I love onions. I'm gonna go for the one with onions. There we go. Perfect size. Wow. Those onions still have a little bit of snap to them. Perfect. That au jus on the brisket. That's really good. The Worcestershire sauce in there. Here's the one with the cheese. I mean, you can't go wrong with cheese, right? Look at this. This is a monster slider. So, there we go. Oh, man. I don't know. They're both delicious. I'm not going to pick a favorite. The onions are good, the cheese, but that mayo, it's something else. The brisket is tasty, good smoky flavor. Guys, you have to make this for game day for your buddies. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, Joe, Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. See ya.